OlliOlli World review. When I first started playing OlliOlli World, I was lucky to get through a level in one go using more than just a simple flip trick and the occasional grind. By the end, I was spinning, grabbing, high-fiving myself during the ramps, and getting through in one unbroken combo thanks to constant manualing. Watching that combo counter move up as I casually sling out new moves without difficulty is one of the most satisfying learning processes I've had in a game. Sure, I haven't slept much since devoting myself to achieving Gnarvana and my fingers look like pretzels, but it was worth it. OlliOlli World is one of 2022's biggest surprises, an instant classic in the skating genre, and something I'm sure I'll be saying, just one more go, to for some time. A beautiful world at that. The most immediate improvement over the other OlliOlli games is the art style. Finding itself somewhere between Adventure Time, Newgrounds, and Ooblets, OlliOlli World is an absolute joy to look at, never jumping away from bright pastel colors and bold outlines. Each area of Radlandia is distinct and full of little details, like the cacti with eyes in the desert or the bear respecting the vibes and floating down a river on a raft in the forest area. OlliOlli has come a long way from simple pixel art. As the world map and levels progress, new traversal methods are introduced. Grinding, mentioned above, comes after a couple of levels. Then there are wall rides. As the name suggests, you ride along a flat, vertical surface. Seems easy enough, but don't let the game fool you. When you're grinding a rail to a wall ride, do you land in a manual to keep the combo going or push to gain speed for what might be coming? This is where OlliOlli World starts becoming a thinking player's game. You can, naturally, play levels again for better scores and learn the layout. There are even level-specific challenges to tick off, more on that below. But as you move from the land of ice creams to the woodlands, each track gets harder and more technical. Now, seems obvious to say, game gets tougher over time, as that's most games. But here it's a lot more sudden. As in, within the first 10 levels you start to see the difficulty ramp like a half pipe. And that's before you look at what you need for full completion. So, those challenges I mentioned earlier, they are aptly named here. Each level has two very obvious ones: finish the course, which seems redundant, and finish it without using a checkpoint. If you bail, a quick tap of a button resets you from a checkpoint, whereas a hold restarts the whole course. Your choice, of course, but you want that sweet tick next to it, don't you? Then there's hitting a certain object, or multiples of throughout a level. Or, to add some spice, avoiding a particular thing or its mates on a run. Hit the last one after avoiding the other 9. Back you go. Then there's the trick-specific objectives, or area-specific ones like, pull a different advanced trick over multiple areas. My description probably sounds a little vague, but in context, it'll make sense to the type of level you're writing down. Of course, you don't have to do any of these challenges to progress. There's no level grind such as the insidious one shoved into Trials Rising. You can simply take as many bails and checkpoint restarts on a level as you like. It's not an especially deep story and the characters mostly hang around to be funny and cute, but these little additions pair well with the generalized sense that OlliOlli World is a game about having some relaxed fun, regardless of how intensely you get into it. The Skate Wizard story and its characters are consistent reminders that this is about the experience, rather than your score. You never encounter negative people, or find yourself goaded into competition. You can do as much or as little as you want. You can run a course until you know every inch of it, or you can take your time and enjoy the scenery, and both approaches are equally viable for reaching your goal of becoming a skate wizard. OlliOlli World excels at feeling like a place where you're hanging out, as much as you are taking on its arcade challenge. That atmosphere lends itself to providing lots of different ways to engage with OlliOlli World, and the variety results in it feeling like it offers a whole lot of opportunities and content. Most of the game's courses have multiple pathways through them hidden in their backgrounds, which you can sometimes access by hitting a button at the right time to change lanes, and sometimes have to find by completing a quick jump or riding a less obvious or hard to reach grind rail that deposits you in a new place. The more hidden routes are sometimes designated gnarly to point out that they're tougher, and they'll usually help you attain higher scores. But these routes can also lead you to characters who bring you to additional side quest levels or are necessary to complete a course's 3 special challenges, which range from doing specific tricks at key moments to popping inflatable pool toys or avoiding hitting specific objects. Even if you're not interested in topping the leaderboard for every level, there's plenty of engaging adventure platforming to do as you scrutinize each to fully understand them, and it doesn't require mastering all of the game's more technical aspects. Skateboarding games are on the cusp of a renaissance. Skate and its successors are remerging back onto the scene, cleanly aiming to replicate the reality of nuanced deck control. Tony Hawk's pro skater limped out of retirement to once again embrace the fantasy of effortlessly shredding spots to a soundtrack of wasted youth. And what is OlliOlli World, but a chaotic blur of twitchy sal flips and energetic blunt slide 50 to 50s as weightlifting pigeons, talking bears, and an immaculately rendered Danny Trejo don't ask, watch your runs from the sidelines. The truth is, there's far more to OlliOlli World than meets the eye. Roll7 has always had an implicit understanding of the heart and soul of skateboarding, that's clearer than ever before in World. Success in the varied, vibrant world of Radlandia requires no end of technical precision as it pushes you with relentless forward momentum. It's a twitchy 2D side-scroller born in the mold of arcade fighting games as much as it is a hyper-chill descent into an unbreakable flow state. And each of its stages are effectively extended spots to claim dominion over, albeit with raucous punk rock swapped out for a soundtrack of hypnotic electronica. Kids these days. The online multiplayer is asynchronous and cross-platform, which means it's super accessible and easy to play with buddies. While a real-time multiplayer solution would have been nice, what's here is still good fun. In Gnarvana, you can generate a level with a handful of parameters, set a score, and then send that level's code to whomever you wish to challenge. It works perfectly well, and means you'll have a near-endless supply of levels to enjoy. Elsewhere, leagues pit you against 9 similarly skilled players, and you're given 24 hours to set your best score on a particular stage. If you finish among the top scores, you'll be promoted, and chaining promotions together unlocks more customization goodies. OlliOlli World prefers to revel in candy-colored surrealism. The art style, by German Raina Carmona, is staffed by weightlifting gulls and smiling bananas. Jacuna Sun Gout. Where it shines, thank goodness, is in its ability to put you in that same brain-blurring state of flow as its predecessors. It feels, as this series always has, despite its fantasies, oddly faithful to the demands that skateboarding makes on the mind. The feel of its action is as responsive as ever. I played on a PlayStation 5, and the controller's haptic feedback, combined with its speaker, evokes the long, light scrape of a grind as it loops you to secret places. Call it the Path of Whispers. What's more, if you have a taste for character customization, you will be in your element. I furbished my skater with tattoos, and turquoise shorts that left little of the regions of his upper thighs to the imagination. As you complete levels, you are rewarded with shoes, trucks, wheels, and accessories. And I couldn't help but smirk when Sue said, I mean, there is no ethical consumption under late capitalism. Alas, OlliOlli World costs £24.99. Make your purchase with a heavy heart. Once you finally meet all the gods and roll the credits, there's still plenty of content left to consume. As well as all the challenges to complete, including some post-game extras. There's a random stage generator for almost unlimited skating content. After selecting a few options, you'll be greeted by a stage and code to share with friends for score challenges. It's a cool idea, but honestly the levels are just a bit soulless compared to the campaign. These stages are also the setting for the league mode that pits you against randoms online, which unfortunately makes this a little dull too. OlliOlli World is a beautiful skateboarding game, which is a ton of fun in the early worlds. Unfortunately, as the complexity and difficulty amps up, the enjoyment quickly turns to frustration. As much as I wanted to adore this colorful game, the checkpoint issues and overly complex abilities made the experience less than gnarly.